go. Welcome. I don't know. I do not know how you blink and it's the gosh darn weekend, but here we are. Welcome to Gabbin and Games for Friday, the 30th of January. It is nice to see you. It is nice to have you here. I appreciate you spending some time with me as we talk about the video games that we all love. It's good to see everybody. Now, I want to talk a little bit today. We're going to talk about some AI. We're going to talk about Crimson Desert, which will be here before you know it. We'll talk a little bit about Nio 3, Nio, whatever the hell it's called. We're going to talk about a new PlayStation controller patent that just came out, and pretty weird, kind of cool, kind of terrible, kind of cool. Can't decide what to think about it. We'll take your calls at the top of the screen on the comment section. If you want to call in on your computer, phone, what have you, click that button there. It'll bring you in. And as long as you got something interesting to say, I'll put you on the show. We'll talk as pals do. It is pronounced like the Matrix guy, the game Neo. Okay, so it's Neo 3. Okay. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then for members at any tier, a little bit later in the show, we'll be switching this over to members only. And we will be playing a couple of games. I'll run that detail by you in just a little bit. Let me get a sip of the bubbly, and we'll get rolling. Hang on. I will say I got my Tory Holistics today. They came by. They deliver as they do. And tomorrow on this other show I do called Lolcow Crypt, we will be watching in the Discord Royal Rumble. And so I got cake, which is just the best fucking pot you can find. It hits like a goddamn hammer. Very excited for this. Very excited to watch the Royal Rumble tomorrow. Who knows who's going to come coming down that ramp? I just don't know. But I'm excited to find out. I'm excited to see, and hopefully you guys will be watching with us. K-Nubs, welcome to Calypso's Cult. It's delightful to have you here. Always good to have you as part of our community. Y'all so-and-so. Now, let's get to the news. Let me settle in. It's weird, actually. I'll tell you first before we get to the news. I also want to mention that Rocker Matt paid the other day for Ash versus Evil Dead 2 episodes. We will be watching that next week. I don't know if we're going to make it part of a movie marathon. So we'll do a wheel next week shows, or if we're going to just make it like a Wednesday night. So we'll let you know. But Ash versus Evil Dead will be coming up for members. You don't have to be a member, actually. Just be in the Discord coming up pretty soon. But yeah, I think I got to change my diet. I don't mean I got to lose weight, although that would be a nice benefit, but I just don't have as much energy as I want. I was talking to somebody last night and she says, well, you really need to eat more often, like every 3. Who cares, Jaffe? Well, I'm just sharing, man. You got to eat more often, every 3 to 4 hours, she says, and you need to get a little bit more protein in your diet. So I'm gonna try that starting tomorrow. I got to wait for the Royal Rumble because I'm going to be high as a kite eating anything I can see because I get munchies like a motherfucker. But after that, though, absolutely 100%, I will be trying to get a little bit more. I don't like chicken. See, Wayne B, that's the problem. But there are things that a vegetarian like myself can eat. I can eat beans. I can eat tofu. I can eat nuts and things like that, cheese, all that good stuff. So I'm not worried about finding something. And I walk a lot. Brad Skaggs says walk in the morning. I walk at night, actually. We walk for about 2 miles every night. So I don't know. As for drinking more water, yeah, I mean, I keep hearing that that's a wives' tale lately, that the whole drink 8 glasses of water a day is not really the value, is not really what you need. But it's hard for me to believe that water is not good for you. So, but anyway, yeah, Eddie T says tofu's recycled cardboard. I like it, not especially if you put certain spices on it and stuff. You can fry it. It's pretty good. Listen, here's what's not pretty good, although will there be consequences? Probably not. We know that today, I think they said 500,000 pages came out of the Epstein files. And listen, 500,000 pages came out of the Epstein files. And that's only half of them. There's still 50% more. A bunch of videos came out. I bring it up on this show because it relates to video games. There were two that may very well be interesting to you. The first one is page 38 from the file released by the United States Department of Justice. A woman named Sarah Ransom was dating Leslie Benzies from Rockstar North, also the guy who directed, what's that new game that just came out that everybody hates this year? Whatever that game is, he was the director of that. He was dating her in the early 2000s. She met Sam Hauser through him. And here is what she said. She alleges Leslie Benzies of a crime and Sam Hauser as a witness of the crime. Mind's Eye is what it was called. That's right. So listen to this. Leslie Benzie, I guess this is literally written from her in the files, seeming as if he invented the throwing of money at a prostitute on me, then sexually assaulted me afterwards, she says. Kids, that's what drugs do. Then he used it in his video games for entertainment for millions of people. That shit had to come from somewhere. Why not the guy who helped invent GTA? Leslie also visited me in New York and knew what was happening and gave me the money to book my ticket to New York when I arrived on the 1st of September. Check his bank records. Sam Hauser met with me multiple times. The time has come for people to know what you and your Rockstar North boys really get up to behind the scenes. I'm surprised there has yet to be a class action for you guys alone at Rockstar North. Wow. Right? I don't know. I don't know who else from the gaming industry we're going to see in here. Listen to this. Somebody said Leslie was locked out of his building and put on a forced sabbatical. This was in 2015. People always wondered why Rockstar forced him out in such a way without properly firing him. However, I don't believe the Epstein connection is strong despite the title sounding bad. Just being named in the files is not enough proof they did something bad. This is what a commenter is saying. And that's true, but you know, if this woman is saying that he did sexually assault them, that's interesting. That's interesting and terrible. And then as somebody was saying, there was another file that came out from Xbox that Xbox sent to Jeffrey Epstein. This email is to notify you that your Xbox Live account privileges have been permanently suspended due to harassment, threats, and or abuse of other players. The conduct that caused this suspension may include, but is not limited to threats of death or harm, verbal abuse, griefing, extortion, libel, display of personally identifiable information such as name, address, or stalking. So, you know, it's going to be an interesting, it's going to be a very interesting thing to see who else from the game industry has gotten into some of these shenanigans on Epstein Island or in the periphery of Epstein. Am I in the files? No, I'm not. That's the funny thing. You know, a lot of people like, Jeff, you're such a weirdo and all this stuff. I'm like, I may be a weirdo, motherfucker, but I ain't doing anything like that. I ain't doing anything like that. God damn it. But yeah, so, and then, you know, that the guy who used to run Activision, Bobby Kotick, was actually on the, in Epstein's book. Bobby Kotick was listed in his book, which doesn't mean he's guilty of anything, but we'll see. No, Ace, no, go lay down. Go lay down. Ace, go lay down. I'm not playing with you, you nerd. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Okay, I'm going to let the dog out 1 second. Ace, you have to go. You're driving me nuts. I love you. I love you with all my heart. Go. Sorry, buddy. And he's like a velociraptor. He knows how to open doors, so I keep having to block it. Okay. Yeah, get the zapper out. That's right. I did see that guy, that Hassan Piker, who people say zapped his dog. He denies it, was banned from Twitch. Twitter, Twitch, whatever it is. For some reason, I guess it was because he was saying things that sounded pretty anti-Semitic if you follow their rules and whatnot. Anyway, you know, so that's what's going on with the Epstein files. Listen to this. Now, this I love, and this I also find very troubling. And I don't think this is going to be the launch controller for the Eddie T says he's going to go see the Melania movie and then play Highguard. You got a quality weekend lined up, buddy. You're all set. You're all set to go. This is just a patent that Sony has put out. And I'll show it to you in a second if you haven't seen it, but it is a controller with no buttons. It's like the first time Steve Jobs held up the iPhone and everybody was used to like the BlackBerry. And it's like, what the fuck is that? It's just a screen. If you look at your screen right now, you'll see what I'm talking about. Here you go. 1 second. It should be up there right about now. There you go. There you go. So there it is. Sony patent teases adaptive touch controller with no physical buttons for the PlayStation 6. And what I think is really cool about this, and really clever about this, is one of the reasons that apparently this was kind of created was they said that, you know, it's so, when you think about it, it really is. It's like an antiquated idea that every game has to conform to a pre-laid out set of buttons, right? And they're saying, look, if you have a game that runs with directional pad and one button, we're leaving a lot of gamers confused because a lot of people are intimidated by the controller. And I think that's a great point. I mean, you know this. If you show an average person who's not a gamer a PlayStation 5, a lot of them will just be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I don't know. I'm intimidated. I don't want to play that. I don't want anything to do with that. But if they come over and you say, here's a controller, and it's basically got a directional pad and one button, because that's the only game they're playing, like a Candy Crush or whatever, you suddenly might bring a lot more gamers on board. So I 100% get that desire. I think games and controllers are never, you know, they are a big barrier of entry, and it prevents a lot of people from becoming gamers and kind of coming into the ecosystem. And it really does fall into what Sean Layden has said over and over and over that he keeps getting quoted for, which is, and he's right, there's only so much of the console player pie, and it doesn't really grow. It's like 250 to 350, and who gets which piece of pie is absolutely determinant based on the console war, such as it is. But the amount of players playing those kind of games are absolutely not growing. And this is a big reason why. But obviously the negative is touch controls suck. So I don't know if there's anything in the patent. It says the controller works by creating virtual buttons that appear based on how the user holds it. It could arrive with the PS6 or much later if the patent is realized. Just a patent right now. Just a patent right now. Many rumors have swirled, but almost no one is focused on what the controller will look like. The publisher might revolutionize controllers with the PS6. They published a new patent that talks about a capacitive touch controller with no physical buttons. It accepts input via adaptive virtual buttons that are not fixed to any positions, instead work based on how the user holds it. The patent convenient timing has led many gamers to believe the controller might be planned for PS6. Now, I absolutely 100% do not believe they will launch the PS6 and this will be the standard controller. That is way too fucking risky for these guys. There's just no fucking way they would fucking ever do that. But it might be something they put out after, but I can't fathom this is the standard. Controller could be a huge innovation. However, without fixed physical buttons, it might require a whole lot of practice. I don't agree with any of that. I have been using phones since the first iPhone. And I'm telling you, man, and you know this, and this is why I'm always stunned that these mobile games that are gamer games like Call of Duty Warzone or Fortnite or whatever, I am stunned that these games do as well as they do, because I'm just kind of like, are you shitting me? These games play terrible. And it's like, well, this guy has a backbone, which is like the controller that you put on it. But I mean, even that's it's just a terrible solution. But I do think it is a problem in search of a solution, which is too many people are turned off by controllers as is. They absolutely are. And I get it. Like, even in the chat, it's like, who's intimidated? Why would they be intimidated? And I'm like, well, because, if you don't game and you put that in someone's hand, try to put yourself in their mind space. It absolutely is a pretty intimidating proposition, no doubt. Here's what's not an intimidating proposition, though. This game is great, by the way. This game is no rest for the wicked. It has been in early access for about a year or two. I really, really enjoyed it. It's a gorgeous looking game. It plays beautifully. It is becoming... They just released their multiplayer version, so you can play, I think, with up to 3 friends. It is basically a Souls game with a lot more RPG. Well, that's wrong to say because it has RPG elements, the Souls games, but it's a Souls game with it feels it has more of like a action RPG. Like, you can buy, I think if you remember, you can buy houses and you can take on jobs and bounties, and it's got a hub, and it's more gamey in its presentation, but it's really good. It is really fucking fun. The combat is great. It's hard, but it's great. And I bring it to your attention for the main reason that right now it is in early access, and it's a great game. It was great day one in early access, but right now you can get this on Steam. I don't know if they've announced a console version, or I'm sure they intend to make one, but not yet. You can get it on Steam for like $25. It's 40% off or something. But they did announce that when this game comes out of early access, it'll be $60. And so I'm telling you now, if this game even looks like your cup of tea, it is your cup of tea. And I'm trying to save you about $40 because if you think about buying it, you will fucking buy it. You said you heard it needs a good PC to run decently, says Darth Nugget. It might. I play it on GeForce Now, so I don't know. But I certainly do run it at the top of the line with GeForce Now, and it runs like butter. But it's just so good. I suck at it. I even downloaded a mod that lets me slow down the game when I want to, because the combat... one thing that's great about this game, real quick, is that because the camera is removed like this, it solves the one problem I have with Souls games, even though I adore Souls games, which is a lot of times I will get hit because I can't see where the attacks are coming from. The enemies are so big at times, and the camera is so close at times that a lot of times I'm just like, I didn't see that coming. You don't have that excuse in this game because the camera is such that the enemies are such that it is still very much Souls-like, and you have to focus and learn their patterns and really concentrate. But the camera's pulled back enough that you're able to actually see and read the attack. So you kind of have nobody to blame except your own goddamn self, which I blame myself because I suck at it. But it's great. It's available. Check it out if you're considering getting it, because again, you're going to save $40. What's up?
I can set up fiber right now, but I just need your ID.
Can I do this first?
Yeah, sure. Or I can be faster than I do it.
No, because I need to cancel this. Well, I'll do it right after.
Okay.
Tech says he can set up fiber, which we're getting. We want fiber for all the streams.
February 3rd.
Huh?
It'll be installed February 3rd if we do it right now.
Yeah, no. I got to do this. We're going to get fiber, though. We've been trying to get fiber. Do you wear glasses, Jaffe says, Wayne? Not trying to be a dick. You might need an eye test. Why? I do wear glasses, though. But what are you talking about? Why would you ask, though? I'm not sure I understand. Eat more cereal. What? Okay. All right. Moving on, though. Moving on. But check it out if you're interested, because it's good stuff. It's good people. I did want to mention this, though. Thomas Mailer, who I follow on Twitter, he's the creative director of that game, of No Rest for the Wicked. Like the guy, like his games. They also did Ori and the Blind Forest and all that. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I just want to point out, though, that this is some success bias. And if you're out there and you want to be a creator, if you want to make games or comics or movies or whatever it is you want to create, just be careful. be careful of success bias. It doesn't mean don't follow your muse. It doesn't mean don't follow your passion. And I don't think his advice is bad, but when you get advice from people who have succeeded, it makes the assumption that what they're telling you is accurate. He says this: throughout the development of No Rest for the Wicked, I've heard a lot of well-meaning advice like, don't add housing, it'll ruin the game. Don't add crafting, it'll ruin the game. Don't add co-op, it'll ruin the game. Don't add PvP, it'll ruin the game. Don't add the Crucible, which I guess is a mode, it'll ruin the game. There were countless others. My best advice to designers: follow your gut. Listen carefully to feedback, really listen. But if every fiber in your body tells you you're onto something, chances are you are. Design by fear leads to safe, forgettable games. And it's one of those things that people say, and it sounds great, because who wouldn't want to listen to that? Who wouldn't want to listen to, oh, you get to be right all the time. Go with your gut. Your gut can't steer you wrong. But it can. And he's right when he says, listen to feedback really carefully. He's not, this entire statement, I'm not saying the whole thing's fucking stupid. No, it's not. And he has a very good point. Part of the process needs to be taking your gut into account. It simply has to. Otherwise, what is the point? Big Dick says, generally speaking, customers don't know what they want. Their ideas are bad. That is a true statement as well. But the problem is, I have seen some people, including myself, fall into the assumption that the right way of thinking is go with your gut. The customer doesn't know. And I've won sometimes with that thinking, and I've lost sometimes with that thinking. And when I think back to those moments, and I really assess why I won and why I lost, it was because the feedback that was coming, or more importantly, I could have seen certain things that I didn't know, and I should have known better. Right. And I mean, you don't know what you don't know. And maybe it's kind of impossible to know whether at any given time, do you trust your gut or do you go with conventional wisdom? Because you don't want to design from fear. You don't want to create from fear. But you also have to be careful of, just like, I have my vision, I'm going to do what I want. You can do that if you have the ability, but it doesn't come close to a guarantee of success. But I get it. I understand gamers will ask for the same fucking thing. The same fucking thing. Yeah. Well, can the fun be measured, says Tatum, if the game is more fun than fuck the gut? Right. I remember I was working on this game, Dark Guns, up with Sony, and I had gotten it in my brain. And this, I'll give you, this is a great example, even though the game did not come out, but I had gotten it in my head. I loved the Zen-like state that came from playing shooters like Raiden Project, or I forget the one on PS1 that had like the two layers. It was like Xevious, but you could like shoot down and it was all 3D and stuff. It was pretty cool. And those are very simple games. And so I wanted to strip out almost everything except the ability to do a smart bomb and to shoot forward. And my goal was to have a conceptually strong shooter, but the gameplay was going to be so simple that you couldn't help, if we tuned it right, to fall into this Zen-like trance. Well, it's a nice theory and it's a nice thing to talk about, but I had people in the team forever going, Jaffe, please make it a twin stick. Use the I think it was enough. It was far enough in the PlayStation 1's life that we had the dual stick. And they were saying, make it like Robotron. It's still a shooter. You're still flying around. You can still bomb stuff down below. But they're like, it would be so much better. And it turned out I eventually, because nobody liked the game and I was sticking to my guns, and eventually I said, fuck it, just try it. And they tried it and it was so much better. So that's what I'm saying. Here's what I know. I know that this kind of advice and the opposite of this kind of advice, which is, simply listen to the customer and make what they want. Both of those things are dangerous. I don't know, though, what the right way to do it is. I don't know how you know when to listen and when not to. I really have no clue. Maybe it's just luck. I couldn't tell you. Okay. Let's move forward, shall we? All right. What I was going to say is this, at the end of the show, or about an hour into the show, we're going to take a small break and then we're going to flip the switch over to, members only. And in members only, we're going to play one of 3 games. Okay. I have the Neo, demo downloaded, which is this game here. I hear it's incredibly hard. So it may not be something anybody wants me to play. What I'll say though, is I was stunned because it's an 81 gigabyte download. And I'm like, why is this fucking demo so big? And apparently it's because the whole game is on there. So it's basically a trial is what it is. I don't think the game's out yet. So even if you love it, you can't buy it today, but the game is out basically, or you're downloading the whole thing. So that's why it's 81, but I have the whole thing downloaded. It's ready to play. If we want to play that, we can absolutely do that. Just letting you know now, if you want to be a member and you want to join us on this little quest, it'll cost you $2.99 or any higher tier. We would appreciate the support. And we also appreciate follows, likes, and super chats, just like we just got from Eternal Harmony. He says, Jaffe, I speak on behalf of the great panda. He grows weary of you. He will rise with the coming of the Turtle Rebellion. Hello, Darth Nugget. I don't have a goddamn clue what you're talking about, but I love you with all my heart and soul, and I want to make a baby with you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that very, very much. The other game that we could play is, I don't say it, Karen.
All I ever wanted was...
This game was getting some staggeringly great reviews when it came out yesterday. It's since dropped a little bit. It's sitting now at an 84 or an 85 on Metacritic, but the users hate it, right? The users are like, I think the user score is like a 6, but the critics really loved it. I played the demo. I thought it was very, very cool. So we could play this game if this is what we want to play, which is a game about climbing a mountain, believe it or not, but it's supposed to be excellent. The other game we could play is, there's the reviews right there, 84 and 6.8. The other game we could play is this one, Hellmart, which I released. It's a horror game. It's a short horror game. You play a guy who gets dropped off in the middle of nowhere to work at a little mart. And it's basically a store management thing. But then shit starts to go really sideways. And it's really weird. And it's really cool. And it's really creepy. And it's fun. So we could also play that. So I'll put up a poll a little bit later to see what it is you guys might want to play. Again, this is members only. If you want to be a member, it'll cost you $2.99 or more, and you can hang out with us tonight and play a couple of video games. We would really appreciate the support. Okay, but there you go. This is Hellmart. Okay, moving on. Oh, I want to let you know, schedule next week. I'll be on Sacred Streaming, which is Colin's show. I'll be on that Monday. With Colin, and I think Dustin's going to be the co-host. I think we're taking calls and talking games and things like that. That is coming up on Monday at 11 o'clock my time. Okay, so that's number one. I want to let you know that. I want to let you know that right now, a brand new podcast. Well, it's not a new podcast, but it's new for me. I'm on a brand new podcast. If you can't get enough of Jaffe, and hell could you? We talked for about an hour and a half. It's me and the Game Treasure podcast. These are the guys that run the Retro Treasure company, which is basically a really cool subscription box company. I'm sure I'll be telling you about it in the future. But this was a podcast. And what I really enjoyed about this one was we talked less about the news of the day. And we talked about not just my career, but we talked about retro gaming. And I absolutely love retro gaming. And I love, as I get older, I have such nostalgia and warm feelings for those days. And it was really, really fun to talk to these guys about everything going back to Atari and up to the PS2 era and everything in between. It was great. So this is available now. I'll put the link in right now, and I'll be tweeting it later as well. And don't forget, if you want to call in and make yourself heard, that's really not a problem, pal. You can do that by clicking at the top of the chat. They don't take calls, says Matt. Yeah, they do. At least Colin, I mean, that's what they're doing. Colin says, oh, maybe we'll shoot the shit and take calls. That's what he told me. So we'll see how it goes. But that's coming up on Monday. Okay. Royal Rumble is coming up tomorrow in the Discord, but it's going to be on the Lolcow Crypt Discord, which is the show I do over on Lolcow. If you want to watch it without the Royal Rumble images, but just hear our commentary, we'll be getting high and watching. We will be streaming that on Lolcow Crypt. And the final bit of housekeeping is Lolcow Crypt has moved to 7 a.m. 5 days a week over on Lolcow Crypt. So if you're into that sort of thing, that's where that show will be. If you've been listening and you're like, hey, where did it go? It moved to 7 a.m. California time. So there you go. That's what we're doing coming up next week, along with regular shows and videos and things like that. But you really don't play games that aren't new. You should probably play older games. I play older games all the time, Matt. I don't stream them usually, but I play the older games I've been playing recently. In fact, I'll show you. I'm going to put that on the screen because I have not seen that. 1 second. So the game I'm very close to pulling the trigger on, I just got to find the time to play this one, is Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, the original. And I know that this obviously was just canceled, the new one. But this one is the original, and it'll cost you $2. It's 80% off right now. When I saw this, and I was just like, man, I haven't played that since it came out, and I played it and I finished it and I loved it. And I'm actually looking forward to playing this again. So I'm playing that. I'm playing, obviously I play the Atari collection, the 50th anniversary. I play the crap out of that. I love finding those games that they never came out, but they were for the Atari 2600. And man, there are some really good ones. There's this one called like Diving Quest or something, which is addictive as fuck. So no, I actually do play old games. I just find that when I stream games in general, that's not my forte, and older games especially. All right, let's move forward, my friends. But just keep that in mind if you're looking. Let's talk about this Crimson Desert. Well, first, let's talk about this. Anybody see, says K-Nubs, the rumors that Ken Levine's new game is running into trouble and may not release. No, where are you seeing that, and where can I look that up? That is kind of staggering. What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, K-Nub says he doesn't know. Somebody said it. I mean, I haven't heard that. I wouldn't be stunned, because it is a very it's a very ambitious game, and it's very different, and it could be it's just not coming together at the moment. But I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't heard that. That would be shitty if that happened, because it looks pretty cool and sounds pretty cool. But okay, let's talk about this. Did you guys know, because we're streaming right now in what's this thing called? Talk Studio. There's a good chance that this is not going to run at a good clip, but I assure you this is running smooth as butter. It's just, it probably doesn't look very good because we're in Talk Studio. But I may stop doing Talk Studio. I used to do it because we used to get a lot of people wanting to call in. Now nobody calls into the show. So, if you don't want to call in and talk, I'll just go back to OBS, which gives you a cleaner picture. But regardless, Crimson Desert, my friends, Crimson goddamn Desert. This is a tough nut to crack, because it comes out in March. Like, we're about it's like a month for this thing to come out. And if you watch this, and even from the very beginning when they revealed this, we were all like, how is this possible? How in the fuck is this fucking possible? It seems like, you talk about feature creep in video games. It seems to me like any and everything that the head of the studio came in and said, I played Zelda Tears of the Kingdom this weekend. I like how you can manipulate objects. Put that in. And, I like mechs. Put that in. And, I like how the characters can move and jump and glide and, platform games. Put that in. It seems like one of those games that should not exist, and it should just collapse upon itself. when you watch this 15-minute gameplay trailer that just came out, and you're like going, I don't understand this. Is this thing really going to work? And the other thing is, and it got me thinking anyway, it's like, why do we never see leaks from like QA guys that are contracted? Because you'd think this game's ready to come out. This thing has got to have gone gold, or if it hasn't, it's about to. And somebody has to have played it and QA'd it. And you'd think somewhere on Reddit, we'd have somebody who's like, no, guys, this is the real deal. This is a real goddamn cockadoodie fucking game. But I'm not seeing any of that. I have absolutely no idea what this is going to be when it comes out. But if you are to believe the trailer, holy cow, man. Now, there's nothing about this that's conceptually innovative or strong, but it's like if you love action adventure games, like I'm playing Ghost of Yotei right now, and Avowed, and I really enjoying Avowed, but I adore Ghost of Yotei. It's one of my favorite games from first party. It may be my favorite PS5 first party game. It probably is. It's competing with Returnal, and I haven't decided yet. But it is just sublime, that game. But you look at that game and what that game is, and then you say, okay, imagine that, because this looks to be the same kind of game in terms of open world, go where you want. There's a core story, lots of things to do outside the story, but it seems like it's got everything and then some, and it seems like it's all well done. I don't think any gamers have gone hands-on. I don't think, I could be wrong, I should have checked, but I forgot. I don't think they have done a preview with hands-on for like IGN or anything, because you'd think we would have heard. I don't think it was at Summer Game Fest for people to go hands-on with. So I'm just, it is a little weird that it's coming out in a few months and I don't think anyone's really touched it. If I'm wrong on that, please let me know. But if you have watched this, and again, if you're, I don't know how the video is running for you right now, but it's got all the combat that you're used to. It's got these massive open worlds. They're fucking gorgeous. You've got multiple characters you can play. Lots of different environments, visually environments, but then it gets into mechanically, right? You've got different types of missions that you go on. You've got the ability to fly around with wings and fight giant creatures. I'm trying to scrub through this to show you. You've got like mechanics like this. Check this out. Awesome Tatum says it's the real deal. So you got firsthand at PAX East. So you got to play it and it actually plays. It's got a good frame rate. It's a decent game. Really? Really? Well, that's fucking amazing. And yeah, so it goes, he's got climbing, blah, 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 but we've, and then it goes into the, look at this fucking thing. Where is it? You can, there's a part where you can get like in a mech and fly around and shoot missiles. There's a part where, you can get on a dragon, and it's not like a scripted dragon, like, when you rode Pegasus in God of War 2, it's like an open world where you can fly the dragon and jump off the dragon at any fucking point. Then it's got like, it's got puzzles, and then it's got like the Zelda, manipulating objects and moving them around to solve puzzles and build structures and shit. It's like, what the fuck is this? Okay, so Galarian says it's like Black Desert, which I guess is the same developer. It's beautiful, has over 20 classes, and runs smoothly. Luke Stevens says it's the real deal too, but he thinks it's more Breath of the Wild, less Witcher 3. Either way, I mean, I hope it's more Witcher 3 than Breath of the Wild, but by God, it looks fucking gorgeous. Kanub says this honestly feels like the first next-gen open world game this generation. Again, Awesome Tatum played it. He says it's the real deal. PK says potential for game of the year if it hits. Yeah. So we'll see. Comes out, I think, in a couple of days, next month. And I don't know. I'm gonna wait for reviews, of course. I don't want it to be like another Cyberpunk. But if this is the real deal, man, that's how big is this fucking team? How big is this fucking team, man? And what the fuck, man? What is wrong with Breath of the Wild? PJ said, not PJ, Crowdunk. Nothing's wrong with it. I just like open world games that are more, that have more scripting and have more adventure to them versus just Breath of the Wild is much more sandboxy. And I like something like Tsushima, which is more open world, but still adventure. Okay, I'm going to bring Mr. Loser in just a second. I do want to, of course, say mega thanks to our super chat of JSD, Mr. Moneybags, as I like to call him. He's always a huge supporter of the show. And tonight is no different. Thank you for that, JSD. All he wrote was the word weird. And he dropped $100. $100, this guy. Now, look, I don't condone what he does for a living. He's a professional hitman. He says to me that he makes sure that the people he takes out are bad guys, but ultimately that's subjective. Is anybody really bad? Is anybody really good? I don't know. But JSD, listen, seriously, from the bottom of my heart, we really do appreciate that financial support to keep this show going. Thank you, good sir. Have a great weekend, and thank you for your support all throughout the year. Thank you. It was originally going to be an MMO, says Darth Nugget, talking about Crimson. So people think that they were going to release new areas as expansions. When it went single player, they made all one big map. Okay. Over under for how long Jaffe goes from hating it to loving it. Gun, look, go fuck yourself is what I would say. Because yeah, he meant to hit $10. Well, he can do a back order or whatever it's called. Go fuck yourself is what I would say. Because I love Yote, but I don't take back anything about my criticisms of it. The criticisms of Yote, which is the opening is terrible, I stand by. I absolutely stand by. But the game is so goddamn great that it makes its way past those. But no, it's junk, the opening. But this though, I'm really looking forward to this. I hope it does not disappoint. I hope it's not a big bloated mess. You call for the writers' jobs, Jaffe. What do you mean, Matt? They were terrible. Absolutely terrible. At least the opening is what I mean. All right. Speaking of AI, I miss Jaffe calling it Yodi. I don't fucking know what it's called, you son of a bitch. Look. The writers, they were terrible, Matt. I'm sorry. I mean, they were terrible. And then, and honestly, I would love to know, it feels like different people wrote it, the beginning and everything else. The opening was terrible. All right, Mr. Loser, let's bring him in. Mr. Loser's Jaffe, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going? It's going good? Oh, cool.
What do you want to talk about?
Hey, so this is my second time calling in. I'm not sure if you remember me. You remember me?
I don't. But I might remember what you talked about, and then I'll go, oh, it's that.
Okay, so last time we talked about, it was some ICE political stuff, some church stuff, etc.
Okay, yeah. And they just arrested Don Lemon today or last night, but yeah.
Yeah. But different topic. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, I saw one of the videos you uploaded. It was about God of War. And it was about the main menu. So I've been working on my own kind of thing for, a long time, longer than I want to admit, right? And I guess I kind of wanted to dig in that. Why did you think it was so important to make a cool menu? Because, I see a lot of games and the menus are just kind of like, they're just as basic as it gets. But like something in you said, oh, we need like a cool first impression, obviously. Like it has to... Right. If you can just elaborate on that, talk a little bit more.
To be fair, it wasn't that the menu needed to be cool. It was that I want the menu of God of War is very, very basic, right? But what's not basic about it is the presentation of that basic menu, right? Which was, I wanted from the get-go it to feel immediate. I wanted it to feel like, the curtain had come down and it was like this big operatic moment and the fire drops in the background, and it's just kind of setting the stage for sort of the grandeur of it and sort of the Greek myth of it and sort of what that means, which is to me, it's an over the top kind of operatic thing. And in that, I think that was one of the reasons it was important. And the other reason it was important is I hate opening cutscenes. They don't, and that's one of the reasons I hate Ghost of Yode's opening, which is, now that I'm in love with the game and the characters have endeared themselves to me, now I care about, I'm going to sit here and have some fish with this, nice merchant that I've gotten to like, or I'm going to sit and me and my brother are going to talk that I've gotten to like my brother or whatever. But they didn't earn that yet at the beginning. And I don't play a game to watch movies. I play a game to play a game. And so for me, it was wanting to throw the player in right away and also wanting to establish quickly that we really were trying to tell this operatic sort of thing.
Yeah. So I you said something about like, hey, if I did it again, I might do like some sort of like interactive, cinematic scene or something. Like, is this just like, hey, if I could just do it again, I would just want to like launch you into gameplay kind of Doom style, pretty much, right as quick while preserving narrative or something?
Yeah. I mean, I think and it was probably the right choice given what our options were, but I think what I let happen was I had two choices. I could open with a strong narrative hook, which is because, at the time it was like, holy cow, we hadn't seen a lot of characters commit suicide, main characters in video games. So I knew that would probably hit strong in 2005. But I would have probably, if I recall, was a struggle to go, do we open there or do we open on the boat right when a Hydra, the other option is the Hydra is in mid attack and the screen is frozen. And when you hit start, it's like,
oh, dude, that would be fucking, that'd be awesome, dude. Like the Hydra just attack. Wow.
That's right. And then you'd have to find a way to flash back to the suicide. But since that in and of itself is a flashback, it probably was something where like, I don't know how to make the structure.
So you're pretty much just like saying, to paraphrase, I just want it to be super fucking cool right away. Like basically first impression.
It doesn't have to be, yes.
Like,
but that's
it's like a movie that opens up with like someone getting shot in the head or something like crazy catchy immediately or something.
Yes, right? But what people do get wrong is when it comes to my view on it, it doesn't have to be action. It just has to be engaging. So it could literally just be something much smaller and simpler, but it still has to engage you. And that's where I think people have forgiven things that are boring because they like to call them slow burn. Oh, it's slow burn. Yeah. No, it's just boring. Slow burn is still interesting.
Slow can still be interesting, right? It's like it has to be something interesting. It doesn't have to be action, but it needs to be interesting regardless.
It's got to be engaging. That's right. That's right.
And do you think like it's harmful, like when like a game opens up with like, hey, your first impression is just like a boring menu? Like I'm thinking, I guess I don't want to call out any games here specifically.
Call out a game so I know what you mean.
Okay, how about this? Overwatch. Overwatch has like it's a pretty
I think
pretty modern, but it's like, we're in menus and things like that, and it's like it doesn't open. It's a multiplayer game. Maybe that's not the best.
Right. I was gonna say that's more of a sport. I don't think it matters, but I think But I absolutely think that when you are buying a game, a lot of games, I'm trying to think of one I played recently that was just horrible on the onboarding. Well, not onboarding, but just like, oh my God, stop taking me through this dumb tutorial. You're telling me the most basic fucking shit. It's like, I think you have, it's got to be dependent on the game, but I think for an action adventure game, opening with these long fucking cutscenes is moronic, but gamers seem to like it. So what are you going to do?
Okay, cool.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted an expansion on that because I thought it was cool. So thank you.
Yeah. Talk to you soon, bud. Thanks, man. All right, there he goes. Let me bring on Matt. Matt, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. So I guess you have some thoughts on Ghost of Yodi.
Yeah, you know it. So
you're a little quiet. Can you turn yourself up or talk louder?
How's that? Sound better? Okay. The game actually does open with action. You fight the snake, which you kind of, I guess you had played that before. Maybe
no. Refresh my memory. So I understand that the snake, when you fight the snake and kill the snake at the beginning, Is that the very first thing you do, or do you do your family stuff?
No,
Because
that's the very first thing you do.
I don't know if that's accurate. It might be.
Well,
Because why, if that's the case, why is your dad teaching you how to block and everything? And it's like, you're telling me I fought the snake without even knowing how to block?
No, you fight the snake first. I'm like 90% sure, but it has been, I played 100 hours of that game, so maybe I'm missing that wrong.
I'm going back right now to look. Keep talking though.
Okay, yeah, you fight the snake, and then yeah, it does have you fight your brother as kind of like a tutorial, and then they try to keep it interactive. Like, you got real upset about making the sword blank, and it's like, but when you play Bookshop Simulator, it's like, oh, I don't mind putting the books on the shelves, but you just got real irate about having to use motion controls to
well, yeah, I'll tell you why in a second. Hang on, I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
So she rides into the valley, she uses her telescope, looks around. Then she goes no, she goes home first. She goes home, she sees the tree.
You fight
you see the family, first.
And then you didn't even get to the part where you fought the snake when I watched you play it.
I may not have, but so no, you open with this boring shit.
I don't think so, man.
I can show you. Would you like to see?
Yeah, I would.
All right, here it is. All right, so this is a full gameplay of Ghost. It's probably not going to run very smooth, but so here's the beginning. Now this is a video.
No, that's gameplay.
No, it's not gameplay. Oh shit, it is gameplay. No, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not. You don't you swing once and he kills you. Right? This isn't. You don't kill him here. This is the flashback.
That's Saito.
Whoever this is, no, it's the snake.
Is that snake? I can't really.
Yeah, it's the snake, and there's no way you can kill the snake. There's no game. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things where there is no win condition.
You kill him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do.
Wait a minute.
This is all the game.
Wait a minute. You're not wrong. But
So
then
it does open up.
Hang on.
A good moment.
Okay, but if that's the case, hang on. No, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was looking at back here. Let me see.
So I imagine you just played that the night before.
No. I thought this was the snake.
You beat up a couple guys and then fight the snake. He's got like a few cronies with him.
Okay, so great. So yeah, so So it opens on action. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, turn off the video. There's echo. Okay, yeah. So it opens on action, which clearly I liked. Great. But ultimately though, it takes you to the home. And most of the first 40 minutes is set with you doing this boring shit.
It shouldn't take 40 minutes though. I mean, you took 40 minutes because you wanted to expound on how bad.
Well, no, I took 40 minutes because there was a lot to do. You did the forge, you did the playing of the instrument with the mother, you did the fighting with the kid. He had the story about how he's burying his money so he can buy samurai armor.
Yeah, that's true.
That was 30 to 40 minutes of gameplay. And end of the day, though, it was just bad. Here's the bigger thing, though, whether it was 5 minutes or 50 minutes, but it wasn't 5, it was like 40. But here's the thing, though, it was tropey, it was generic, it was trying to present, like when the father brings when the dad brings the blade out of the forge and all the music plays, and it's like this, and I don't, by the way, I'm not making fun.
No, you're good.
It's staggering to me that we're doing English dubbing, but the English actors are doing like racist Japanese voices, like disabredo, and I'm like, what? Why are you talking like that? It's dubbed
Japanese,
huh?
You could have played it in Japanese.
I know, but I'm just saying that it's like it was goofy. It's still goofy when these guys talk like that.
I'll also say that samurai movies are very tropey. I mean, they are
great
based on spaghetti westerns, I mean, I don't know the last time you've seen an actual Kurosawa movie or
It's been a while.
or but the characters are pretty plastic and kind of it's got this weird kind of like kabuki theater thing, and most of the stories are some kind of take of spaghetti westerns. So it's not, I mean, it is a
I mean, okay,
genre.
so they win for being accurate, I suppose, if that's the case, but it still comes off as cheeseball. And it still comes off as frustrating because it's like you haven't, it would be like, even this, right? When Luke Skywalker picks up for the first time the lightsaber, when Obi-Wan is showing him his dad's weapon, right? It's not like dun dun da da da. It's like, oh my God, he did it. You don't know what it is yet. They haven't earned that moment. It makes sense, at the end or in Jedi or Empire, where it's like, oh my God, Luke shows up. Like when he shows up in the Mandalorian, you're like, oh my God. But it was poorly written because it was trying to present a vision that assumed we were already on board for it. Like, look at the majesty of this blade the father is pulling out of the forge. And it's like, I don't know these characters yet. I don't care about these characters yet. You haven't earned anything from me yet.
How would you have written a scene where you're trying to show that you have like loving parents? I mean, you could have done it differently and been like, oh, my father's an asshole, or all this.
No, I had no problem with the father being loving. I think that's great. And as the game goes on, you appreciate that. But the way he was loving, it was just dorky. It was like, whoever wins the battle gets an extra course of fish tonight. You're gonna go hungry, Atsu. And the mom's like, oh, my little wolves. And it was just so dumb. It was so Disney Channel.
I guess maybe, I don't know. That's
and so but I agree with the instinct that you're saying, which is in these moments, the writers were saying we need to endear these characters, but I just think they failed because they weren't endearing. They were dumb. They were cliche. It's not till later when she's out in the world doing her shit and she runs into that person at the gates, which I'm not going to spoil it for people. Right. At that point, it's like, oh, I really like these characters now, but it took some time. So I just, here's what I think it is. I think what ends up happening is a lot of writers who are not very good will write something and go, I'm doing what I've seen writers do in movies, so it'll just work. And they don't understand the layering that has to happen on the narrative. It's like that moment works. When there's a moment and it's emotional, it works because there's all this sort of foundational connective tissue of narrative. But it's like Gun says, it's like the I've known the wolf for 2 minutes thing in Ragnarok. And you're supposed to be like, oh my God, Atreus lost his wolf. And it's like, I don't even know the wolf. It's, you get a little bit of a get out of jail free card because it's an animal. And in that, everybody loves animals, right? So at least, it's kind of an easy lay, but it's a good point. So that's what I would say.
Well, I'm glad you came around on it.
Oh, I love this game though. No fucking doubt.
I thought you would. I don't know. It was a little frustrating watching.
I could tell. I could tell, Maddie.
I was like, man, this is a good game, but you were just kind of in angry girlfriend or wife mode where you were just.
The fuck is that? What kind of girlfriends you got? I was.
Well, you got to know. Like at some point, either your wife or your girlfriend will be mad at you, and it doesn't matter what you say or do, it's going to be wrong. And that's what it felt like. No, because even when I was bitching about it, I'm like, oh, and one of the reasons, man, I will tell you, I was so annoyed was that it controlled beautifully and it looked so good and the sound was so good. And if it had overall been a piece of shit, I would have been like, oh my God, this is a piece. It would have been like that Mind's Eye game from Leslie Benzie, the guy who allegedly sexually assaulted. That was a piece of shit. But you were talking about the game like it was a piece of shit. You were like, oh, these people should be fired. You were
the experience was a piece of shit in the first 45 minutes.
Being pretty
but I was clear though. I said this sucks because it plays great, it looks great. It's the sound in this game. I still think Microsoft Studios right now is the best developer, kind of publisher developer sound team. Their ambient sounds on their games the last 5 years has been staggering, but the sound on Yote is brilliant. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, buddy, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for calling. Thanks for sharing your stupid view. Yeah, I got him. All right, man. Thanks, buddy.
Later, man.
All right, man. Okay, there he goes. Off into the evening. Now, my friends, can you ask if somebody is gay? I don't care. But I don't want you using gay as a pejorative. You can ask if I don't care if you ask if someone's a homosexual, but if you want to use it like, oh, that's a negative thing, I would prefer you don't use that in this chat. That's kind of cruel. Yote looks boring, says Amex. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you played Tsushima and you did not like it, you will not like this. If you played Tsushima and you loved it like I did, this is monumentally better. And let me tell you something. What is JSD? You are drunk tonight. You are drunk tonight. JSD is just like, he's given money, a lot of money tonight. So much money that I haven't bitched at anybody else for not giving money or likes. Speaking of, let's get the money coming in, boys. Let's get the money coming in. But then you're saying shit like, Jaffe, no one cares. Yeah, they do, motherfucker. And then earlier he gave $100 and he just said something like weird. You are drunk as a fuck tonight, buddy. Good for you. Enjoy that. Now, look, what I will tell you though, the secret sauce, and I am telling you, I love, this is why sequels are the best. And this is why I'm looking forward to Soros, if that's how you pronounce it, or Saros from the Returnal guys. Because what's great so far about Yote is, I mean, everything feels handcrafted. It doesn't feel like Spider-Man. I talked about this on a video earlier this week, but it doesn't feel like where Spider-Man is, and I love Spider-Man, the character, and I love the Insomniac games, but it doesn't take long in that game for you to start to go, oh, this is another car chase mission. This is another go beat up 10 guys to complete the, it's very modular. This feels so much like even just little weird things. Like I got to a point today, this isn't spoiling anything. I was, one of the things you can do in the game is go after bounties, which I think they had in the first game, but every bounty seems to be, really, really, well written. So I went to this one thing. I was going after this turtle guy who drowned fishermen, and I found these soldiers who had trapped him in a cave, and I had to kill a bunch of people. And then I went into the cave, and there was like a nice little, and this was a cutscene, but it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. It was like, oh, that's different. Or there was a mom that turned into a bad guy because her kid had gotten murdered, and she starts doing something in the middle of a battle. You're like, oh, it really feels like you're living in a story that is being written as you go. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain that, but so far, even the fact, I won't spoil it, I'll talk around it, but there's a point where you go to do something that in most games would be either the ending, or it would be kind of like when you encounter one of the big sub bosses right before the big boss, like the last, and stuff happens and you're like, oh, I guess that didn't work. And it's not like you failed and had to start over. That's part of the story, and everything just goes in a totally different direction. It is very, very, very good. And then even the little, I hate to glaze the thing all day long, but even the little things where it's like, some of the little side quests, like there's this one quest about this, haunted samurai who had gotten fused into his armor, an undead samurai. And he's wandering the plains looking for people who can defeat him, because when he's defeated, he can die. And you have to first find where all the people are that he killed that failed. And he's killed a lot of them. And then you eventually make your way to him and you have to fight him. And this is a really good story. And it's just a little throwaway. You can do it. You can not do it. And when you do it, you get the coolest fucking armor. I've been playing the undead armor is the neatest fucking looking armor I've found in the game so far. So I adore this thing. As to how many hours I'm in, I don't know. I've probably 20, 22, but I mean, I'm doing a lot of the side stuff. Awesome Tatum, thank you for the super chat. He says, trying to drink as much as JD, not there yet. Keep at it, buddy. You'll get it. You'll get it. JSD, thank you for the super chat. He says, yes, but did you see the super deep meaning I was putting out? I didn't. It sounds like a Stoner Joe comment. JSD, thank you again for that very, very generous super chat. Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you, bud. And you are drunk, yes? Please tell me you're drunk. Please tell me you're drunk. Skyrim did that back in 2011. Cool. Okay. Yeah, if you've played both, if you played Skyrim and Yode, let me know which one does it better. Skyrim may have just been too open for me. This game happening to be structured more than Skyrim allowed me to be more engaged with all of it. Whereas I think Skyrim is so open that maybe I couldn't just hook in. Yeah, Galler Galler, that guy says, Cliff Blazinski recently said, why is everybody hating games these days? I imagine that applies to Yote too. Well, if you know this moron, what's his name that Colin debated and wiped the floor with, Smash JT, after you play Ghost of Yode, the fact that he was even trying to argue about the sales success of Yote is so indicative of the fact that this motherfucker does not play video games. He is not to be listened to if you care about the medium, and if you're tuning in because you're a right-wing rage guy, go with God. He'll serve your needs. He'll serve it up and dish it out and all that good stuff. But you can't actually have played Yote and give a fuck about the sales. I don't care if once you play this brilliant game and you play it and you appreciate it for what it is, you're not thinking about the sales. You're like, who gives a shit? You're just thinking, thank God somebody fucking made this thing. It is so goddamn good. And anybody who's played the goddamn game, you're not sitting around thinking, oh, it's a girl, it's not a guy. You're a fucking moron. I'm serious. I'm getting angry clearly when I think about this. When you think about how appealing and likable Atsu is in this game and how cool she is in this game, and you make the time to post shit about who the voice actress is or, yeah, it's DEI. Shut up. Shut up. Die soon. Die. The world's better off without people like you. And I don't mean that like I want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I know you have kids. I'm sure they love you and that's great, but be better, you moron. This is one of the great characters of this generation. It's one of the great games of this generation. You probably haven't even fucking played it and you're talking about it. You don't deserve to talk about a game like this if you haven't played it, you fucking idiot. God, I wish that guy was dead. I don't want to hurt him though. I'm not making a threat. I just wish he would. I don't even want him dead. I just wish he was smart. I wish he wasn't such a fucking idiot. Anyway, Matt says I don't know if I know they made a Jin Sakai action figure. I don't know if they've made an Atsu action figure, but if they have, you goddamn right. I'm getting it. You goddamn right. Does anybody know if they did any merch for this game? But it's fucking great, man. It's fucking great. We got somebody watching from Twitch. You done with YouTube? Why would I be done with YouTube? I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube. AI from Transformational Gaming. Am I done with YouTube? No. Smash JT, the guy Colin was debating. What a fucking moron. What a fucking moron. Now that I've played this game, I'm kind of having flashbacks, but they're new. They're not flashbacks if they're new. I'm having a resurgence of dislike for the lad because my good God almighty, this game is so good and so great that how could you find something, I get it. If you're going to beat up on something like Dragon Age Veilguard, which I happen to like, but I get it. It's not the world's best game. It's got some great stuff about it, but okay. But you don't play this game. You don't play Yote and walk away and want to do anything but come all over it because it's that goddamn good. All right, we're going to move on. Let's move forward, shall we? I want to talk about Google Genie, you guys. This is now again. No, I don't even care. I figured it out, by the way. Before we get, it's about AI, but before I get to the Genie stuff, my son tells me, he says, "Why is it that old people are so into AI? Why do they think it's so cool?" And I do think that that is a cliche, but it's somewhat true. Here's what I think it is. Because being older allows you to have a perspective of time. And it allows me to go, I came up playing games like Zork and Infocom games, which were all text adventures. And I have seen going through that to Atari's Adventure, to Mario, to Zelda, to God of War, all the way up to Crimson Desert, if it actually delivers, but certainly Ghost of Yotei or whatever. And so I've lived long enough now that to see something that's nascent and so new and so delicate, and see that over the bridge of time, which really isn't that much time, it's 40 years, become what a video game is today. It's impossible to look at new technology and not apply that filter. But if you're young, you don't have that, right? So I get why maybe people look at what Google Gemini put out today, or Google Genie, and they go, "Oh, well, this is stupid. What's the big deal? It's stupid. It's slop." It's like, it's kind of like the Will Smith pasta thing. You look at the fucking Will Smith pasta thing, and now you look at AI movies, and there's still ways to go, but that's 3 years. So I have enough experience to know that what you're seeing today is going to change all kinds of things. And I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Gemini is the best. I love Gemini. I know Twitter, I meant, not Twitch. Sorry, Twitter. So let me show you what Project Genie is first, if you don't know. And I hope we get some. Tell me if the video is running choppy. I hope it's not. But let me share my screen. Gaming says it's called perspective. Absolutely. Well, here let's give you guys some perspective right now, because this is some shit, man. So the last time I saw anything like this was when Microsoft put out their Play Quake in a browser, and it's all done in real time with AI. And it was cool, but it ran very choppy, and it did not retain the memory enough for it to really be a game, right? You could go down a hall and turn around, and the place you had just left had changed, because persistence is a real hard thing, I guess, for this stuff, for these kind of AIs to do. It's still a problem. You can only make 60-second, interactive experiences right now, but check this out. And I'm going to show you some examples. They just put this out today. All right. So again, this, I'm going to show you some actual examples now. That's just their video. This is early. If you want this right now, you have to pay like, I think it's like a subscription of like $150 or $250 a month. It's just like always. That was the same with Midjourney back in the day when they, for a couple years ago, you know, they're just rolling this out. And it's important to understand that this is not, you know, they're not games yet. And they'll certainly, we're very far away from games that are like Call of Duty multiplayer games, let alone single player games that are proper games. I saw somebody online that's a programmer say probably what we will see sooner than later is something like more of interactive storytelling, you know, whether it's a walking sim or I think his example was like, hey, make me, you know, here's the first chapter of Game of Thrones. Make me that environment and let me interact with those characters and let the characters be, Chat GPT, Gemini, but let them be large language models speaking to me, but have them speak to me in their character voice, right? Doing something like fast action, you know, but again, this is the point though. People are, you know, it's been so staggering when you look at this, and if you aren't in awe of how cool this is, I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't mean you have to embrace it. It doesn't mean you don't have to be sad about the fact maybe that certain jobs are going to go away eventually because of this. But this is pretty fucking cool. And again, that's why I go back to starting with Infocom and looking at games today. Of course it's not there yet. Just like Will Smith eating spaghetti wasn't there yet. But now Darren Aronofsky, the director, announced yesterday that he's making a series of short films about the American Revolution, and he's doing it all in AI. The trailer was okay for it, but I mean, it just, a lot of people lack vision. But anyway, I want to show you some other examples though that are really fucking cool. Now this one's going to get taken down. I think Rockstar made them take it down. But maybe not. Let's see. So this is using the tool. Now, I don't think there's physics. I don't think there's game logic in this. Blame It on the Boogie is great, man. Blame It on the Boogie is a great fucking song. This was Shinobi tweeting, video game stocks are suddenly crashing with the launch of Google's Project Genie as investors think games will start magically getting made with AI. Well, I don't know about that. I do, like Roblox, I think has reason to worry or consider getting their shit together. Unity as well. I don't necessarily know why CD Projekt Red and Take-Two would lose value because, you know, we're not close yet to that. But certainly Roblox, if you go to Roblox has been trying, and they're there, but they're not as there as these guys, where they've been trying to make their Roblox studio pretty much AI based. So you can just say, hey, I want this or I want that. Let me shut my door because the dog just came in. Let me show you guys a couple more. One sec. Okay, in fact, here's what we're gonna do. It is 7:00. We are going to take a break, but not yet. I just want to make sure I want to go through this really cool AI stuff with you guys. The Internet Hobo is here. He's got some fun video game things, and then I want to jump to one of the games we're going to play tonight. I'll put up the poll right now. Hang on. Hang on. I have to do that over here though. 1 second. Poll. Start a poll. Okay. All right. We have Neo, which I'm sure I will shit the bed on. We have Carrion. which is the climbing game, and then we have Hell Mart, which is the horror game. That is up right now. So in 5 minutes, we are going to wrap up this show. I'm going to kill this stream so I can stream on OBS because it'll get, so it'll be about a 15-minute break and then I'll put up a new stream. But if you want to, it'll be a members only stream. So if you want to be involved, become a member. It'll literally cost you $2.99. And you'll be able to get in and game with us for a little bit tonight. So, keep that in mind. If you like the show, you want to support the show, we would love to have you as a member. If this is where we leave you, that's not a problem either, but please make sure on the way out, if you have enjoyed the show, that you leave us a like. It does help with the algorithm, but only if you like the show. I don't want your fucking pity. I don't want your fucking pity likes. But I'll take your actual real likes. That would be great. Be sure to say hi to Anna G on the way out, our mod who's always taking care of us and making sure we do well. But what that members only show is going to be is we'll go through some of these AI examples that are very cool. We will then look at the Internet Hobo bringing us some stuff. And then after that, we will play. It's pretty close right now. Hellmark, Carrion, or Neo. So I spelled Neo wrong, of course. But so what's interesting about this poll is there's a good chance that Neo is only going to last me for about 20 minutes, and then I'm just going to delete it because it's too fucking hard. And then after that, we'll either jump to probably play Hellmart because that's ahead, but we'll see. Oh, now Hellmart's tied with Neo. So, hey, there you go. Awesome, Tatum. Thank you, buddy, for this, for the gifted member that goes to Eternal Harmony Studios. There you go. So maybe he'll join us later this evening, but that would be great. I already gave you $5. Now I need to buy a membership and like the stream. What's in it for me? I don't know. Yeah, well, actually, you're a member now. You're a member that's been paid for on the back of good Sir Awesome Tatum. So you're set to go, baby. See, that's the generosity of this beautiful, sweet, kind community. It's beautiful, sweet community. Neo isn't hard. It's more frustrating. It's same thing for me, though. Same thing for me. All right. I'm going to count to 10. I'm going to count to 17 because there's a 7-second delay. After that, if Neo and Hellmart are tied, I'll put up a new poll of Neo versus Hellmart, and we'll see Carrion drop away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And here's for the delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It is Hellmart. Okay. It is Hellmart. It is at 44 for 36. So here's what we're going to do. Become a member. We'd love to have you. If not, not a problem, pal. We'll see you on the next show. Don't forget, Locale Crypt is moving to 7 a.m. 5 days a week over on the Locale Crypt channel. Locale Crypt will be doing a stream of WWE Royal Rumble tomorrow. If you're not watching in our Discord, you can still see Tech and I getting high and drinking and doing our commentary on the Locale Crypt channel. I will be on Sacred Streaming on Monday. And then again, the Retro Treasure podcast is up now. I will put the link up again. I'll also tweet about it tonight. It was a great conversation with those fellas, all about sort of starting in games, but also just sort of all the great retro games that we love. It's a fun podcast. It was a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. If you're interested in such shenanigans, that is right here. Hang on. That is right here for you to find. There it is. Don't become a member of Locale. Give all proceeds to Gavin. Yeah, sure. Give Colin hell on Monday. I might get to hang out if the government shuts down. Oh yeah, government should shut down at this point. I hate that for you, but why don't you just post your schedule? I might. You can't tell me what to do. Okay. All right. Let me see who was just hitting me up there real quick. Make sure it's nothing I need to know. Make sure it's not Anna G going, dude, do this. It's important. It might be. Oh, Anna G, I sent you that address as well, by the way. Hang on, fellas. Okay. All right, we're all good. All right, fellas, that's the show. There will be a live members only stream coming up in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys live. Thank you for all the support tonight, and especially to our big donator tonight. Thank you so much, good sir JSD. We really do appreciate it. Super generous of you, man. Thanks, buddy. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye, you guys.